Hi guys, Ivan here. I would like to introduce the WinAttackLab Deployment Manager. This presentation starts with some slides, then I do a live demonstration coming back to the slides. What is the Deployment Manager used for? Actually, in Azure, we run a so-called WinAttackLab. It is an Active Directory with some vulnerable systems, Microsoft systems. And these systems are being used by students to train their cybersecurity skills. So we don't want to run this lab all year long. So instead, we want to run it on demand for the user, the student. So how do we do that? How do we run an Azure cloud on behalf of a user? And that's what the WinAttackLab Deployment Manager is used for. Actually, the WinAttackLab Deployment Manager is a website per user. And it is all Terraform script based. So you submit in the browser, hit deploy, and the deployment manager will create Terraform commands to run the WinAttackLab in Azure. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to run or to deploy the infrastructure. And when it has been deployed, you can access the lab. The deployment manager will let you know what is the IP address and the username and the password or whatever is needed to accessing the lab. So every user has its own unique lab. So now I switch to the live demonstration. Let me check. I have 4 tabs here. The first tab, three tabs. The first deployment manager with its unique URL per user has not yet or has been started. No, has not yet been started. The Terraform script not yet started. Where this deployment and this deployment have already been started. You can see it in the Azure portal. We have 2 running deployments. These are these 2, and one deployment we have not yet started. This is this one. So when I hit the run task, it should appear a new resource group in Azure. Okay, the menu structure of this deployment manager is what you hit on the left is read only. So we not change anything. So you must click on the run task on the right to really do something. So this is only reading, and here is doing. So as it said, being said, has not yet been started, this deployment manager, destroy. So you cannot run the destroy button if it has not yet been started. Logging, some generic information. The plan has been initialized and created. And we don't have any IP addresses yet because it has not yet been started. Okay, so let's deploy our WinAttackLab, our new instance or resource group, I should say. So here we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resource group currently, and hit the run task. It takes a while until it appears in the Azure portal, but this is the output of the Terraform scripts if you would use it locally. Important to say, if once the Terraform deployment has been started, you cannot rerun the script. You can click on the button, but it will catch this event. So to prevent double deployments. The deployment has not yet been, so it has been started. It is currently running. But you cannot stop the running deployment. You must wait until the deployment has been finished. So at least 45 minutes. In the log field, you have some simple log access here. So there's no output yet, so no public IP address because it has started a couple of minutes or seconds ago. And these are the version numbers we use to run against the Azure cloud. We don't have any IP addresses yet. It is still running. So that's the point. Okay, now let's do a refresh here on this tab in the Azure cloud. I should get a new lab 1 WinAttackLab with a new unique number. So let me check. We have a key Y and a P8. Let me check. if the resource group has been updated. Yes. So the P30U3WA is the new resource group for this client or this student. Okay, do we have an IP address? Not yet. So that's why I started these other deployments a couple of minutes ago. So let me check here. The IP address is here. IP addresses, yes, I have 2 IP addresses. And here, I haven't checked, so let me see. Okay. So in this deployment has 2 public IP addresses, so they are both available, even though the deployment has not yet finished, so it's still running. As you can see here, if you click on the deployment, you have direct access to the deployment script. So meaning you cannot yet destroy. So I started this probably 20 minutes ago. Okay, how can you access your deployment? So the accessing is by clicking on the run task here. So as you can see, these are the IP addresses. If I click run task, it shows you the public IP address. It gives you the information how to, where is the RDP server for this scenario. So these are the IP address of the Windows 10 client for this domain with the username and password. And there is another IP address you can reach to access the lab, a Kali Linux VM virtual machine. You need SSH and with a public and private key. And so this is the IP address, the username, and you need an SSH private key to access the Kali Linux machine. And here you see the private key will be printed below. And by using this information, you can actually access the lab. I will now switch back from this demonstration to the slides. So let me check. Okay. So once you did the lab and you want to shut down the lab, you click on the destroy button and tip the run task. Click on the run task icon. As being said, you can destroy once the whole infrastructure has been fully deployed. You cannot destroy before, and it will then create Terraform scripts to shut down your on-demand resource group in Azure. You cannot access the lab anymore once you have hit the shutdown button for sure. If you forget to click the shutdown button, there is a time-based shutdown implemented. So there is a scheduler on the deployment manager. It is configurable, so 12 hours, 24 hours, or even longer. So every deployment is different. So let's say 12 hours. So after 12 hours, after the initial deployment, the scheduler will run the shutdown scripts. So therefore, it's to save costs and to shut down the infrastructure that has been executed by a user. Every user has its own unique deployment manager. So I was showing it with different tabs, but so a user is getting his own URL with his own private deployment manager, runs it against the Azure cloud, and so that they do not interfere with each other. Okay. That's for now. I hope you like the WinAttackLab deployment manager and you even like more like the labs in the WinAttackLab. It is awesome past the hash and an awesome lab, really. If you like it, we really appreciate doing CTFs and trainings all over the globe using WinAttackLab. So thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.